Hello, welcome to the Run to Remember podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Fairs, joined alongside race director Carrie Watkins. We have another great lineup of guests in store for you this week. You will hear from a training coach who is a pillar in the OKC running community. We have a senior marathoner who's busy signing up her friends to join her, and a News 9 anchor who reported from Gorilla Hill last year. We'll hear all about his assignment during the race. The 2024 OKC Marathon takes place the weekend of April 26th through the 28th. Visit okcmarathon.com to sign up to run or volunteer. Carrie, we're back.
We are back downtown Oklahoma City in the Griffin Studio, News 9 Studios. What a weekend of the kickoff run we had, and we're building up for a big weekend in April.
We are excited. We are coming down from a runner's high from the kickoff weekend. We had a great turnout. Great weather. I've thawed out.
I know it was chilly, but nothing like what we've seen. And I just want to say the momentum is building.
It is
for the last weekend in April. I was on a call this week with the Oklahoma City CVB Convention and Visitors Bureau with the Thunder, the Arts Festival, and the River Sports. And you throw in all those three things on top of a marathon, it is going to be the weekend to be in Oklahoma City.
It is going to be an exciting weekend.
We hope the Thunder are on the road because that means they're in the top 4 of the bracket. But, guys, it's going to be a great weekend, and we got to get everybody ready and raced up, ready to go.
It is. And to help us get ready, we've got Mark Bravo, who is a pillar in the running community. He's been running for 45 years and coaching for over 20. So he is the person to go to with your running questions.
Pleasure to see you guys.
I know, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Glad it's time again.
Yes.
So what are you thinking? How are you getting people ready, and how are you coaching them to which race to choose?
I think all the ingredients around the race are doing that to a great extent. As you said, last Saturday in the kickoff run, it was like a high-energy race. I ran with a friend who is now asking me, is it feasible I can move from the 5K to the half? The key thing is, we call it all abilities, all athletes at OK Runner. It's about being a part of this event in one manner or another, whether as a spectator, as a volunteer, walk, run, any of the events. We've got a new one as of last year. First time I ever had a race bib, I did the senior marathon. Plan to do it again. I love viewing the 5K so much that I don't run that one, but just to be a part of things is what I find is the big theme for this race. Everyone wants to be a part of it. It's on the national stage. It is a destination site in America for road racing that weekend.
Well, it really is. It's a lot of people's first run, and they get the bug, and then they keep coming back.
We are noted for having a lot of first-timers, the premise of the race, of course. But what you find, and we go around and promote our race to other marathons in the region and other parts of the country, is folks, races can get you there once, but it's a matter of the efficiency of the race, the surroundings, the premise that keep people coming back. And we're noted, we've got the run 'em all athletes, but we've got many who have done half the events, 3/4 of the events, who keep coming back. There is always something for them, and it is more than a race. It's a true event.
It is a true event. And I think, Carrie, the things you've done over the last, few years to add some fun things to the race, adding the senior marathon, adding the Why We Run series or challenge, and, partnering with the Tulsa Marathon for the Oklahoma medal, and just those things that keep the excitement going and to keep people coming back, to keep it, fresh and fun, because I'm impressed by not only the new runners, but by the people who come every year. The amount of randomals is incredible.
And just the loyal runners who come and run, work their schedules around it. I know just from the runners I know, they plan out their year ahead. And many people don't always register immediately because they're trying to figure out which run they're going to take. And you talked about waiting a few weeks, if you could, to see which race you're up for.
Indeed. It's all about being a part of things. And so what I suggest, in fact, for my friend last week, let's go into February with your training, methodically ramping it up, because the only thing really that can stop you is injury. You can be a part of it in one manner or another, but don't get ahead of yourselves. Take the victories along the way. Maybe assess this thing in early to mid-February, because right now with 15 or so weeks left to game time, you've got time for virtually anything. But talk to someone who's been there about do I have enough of a base to move to that distance that I'm contemplating? And there will always be another Oklahoma City Memorial Marathon, gratefully. So if it's your time right now to stay at a distance that is not your top aspiration distance-wise, you'll get all the joy and the gratification out of it, I'm here to tell you. And, you know, we have many ambassadors, informal and formal,
Absolutely.
around this country.
We're so grateful for those folks.
Indeed. Again, a destination site, and there are many races around that time of the year. But Oklahoma City resonates with everyone, and that is why we see folks from all 50 states almost annually, and they're telling their friends. I've had people literally come up to me at another race and say, at our booth, we're going to talk about our race. Well, two strangers who don't know each other either or us, one will come up and say, oh, you got to run this race. I've done it. I've done it multiple times, and they will be our biggest proponents.
Love that. You know, two things. I mean, one is we run the last weekend of April as a kind of a commitment to what happened in April and the bombing, and that's our tribute kind of to end the month. And that's how the founders created it, and we love that. But sometimes that creates some challenges when you're training in cold winter, and you could be running in a hot April day or a cold, windy April day. You never know. But what do you tell runners to prepare as they train in the cold or train inside on a treadmill? What's your tips for that?
I tell runners, if it's important enough, runners take what you throw at them, weather-wise and all. And haven't you found that maybe adverse conditions or certain components, and you had trepidation about an event? In this world, I talked to an awful lot of walkers and runners, and they were going to bag the race because it just wasn't the conditions. And if everything was predictable, why don't you just pay someone to do it for you? It's about the experience. And what I find, they have many more memories, many more stories on unique days, we'll call them weather-wise. But again, one of the changes you made after year one, which was 7 a.m. start, and arguably the hottest we've had, moved it to 6:30. I can't overstate how important those 30 minutes are.
Right. It's never the runners who are complaining about 6:30. It's the everyone watching them. Like,
You
it's
got
so early,
that
get
right.
up.
The
And-
cheerleaders, the volunteers.
Right, but the runners love it.
They're looking forward to post-game.
Right.
And you know, the nice thing about training in Oklahoma is that you'll have plenty of chances to train in the wind. So should it be windy on race day,
You're ready for it.
You should be ready for
You
it.
have got to have wind. You have got to have hills to see what's inside you. And I'm not talking about just competing for the podium spots. I'm talking anybody. That's where the growth comes. Little bit of adversity.
People love the incline on the 5K. We heard a lot about
We
that.
did hear a lot about that
People like
after the training run.
Yeah.
It's true. Maximize the positives, minimize the negatives. Be honest with yourself. So you got to be legit about what you're approaching and how you're doing it. But it's all positive. You are doing something on this weekend. Not only you will remember forever, but everyone around it, no matter what vehicle they used to be part of it, talks about it. And so many prepare all year long for this event. It's different than anything on earth.
Bravo's the most encouraging,
I know.
positive influence.
Positive,
I
yep.
I'm just calling to hear good things.
Well, Mark, it's always a pleasure to have you join us.
Super.
Oh,
to
we
see
couldn't do
you
it without you.
Yeah.
But you go to these races and people find our booth to talk to Mark Bravo.
Right.
It's fun to sit there and watch.
Yeah.
I was in Dallas in early December and just watched people line up to talk to Bravo and have their picture made, read his book, sign his book. It's great to have you as part of our team, and thank you for all you do.
It's the most important, most enjoyable, and the most memorable day and weekend of my year. Thanks a lot for having me aboard.
I love it
Mark.
because you always go back to the true meaning of the race, and we appreciate that.
Yep. And if you want to learn more from Mark, you can hear from him every Friday on News 9 at 4 p.m. He's providing coaching, training, and inspiration.
Right here at News 9.
News 9, that's right. All right, our next guest is looking forward to going the distance in the senior marathon. This is Terry Cooper's second senior memorial marathon, and she's busy getting some friends together to join her along the way. Terry, we are so glad to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much. I am pretty much the polar opposite of Mark, since last year was my first year to be able to participate in any respect, because while I don't consider myself, or should I say prior to last year, I did not consider myself to be an athlete.
But here you are.
But
Here you are.
part of what I enjoyed so much is the whole experience, from the starting line, from the moments of silence where it was so quiet, and the music that was so energizing. I felt like an athlete.
You were. You
And-
are.
And so when we walked our 1.2 miles down to the finish line and received a medal, and it was thrilling. Had a great time.
That's so fun.
Carrie and I were at the finish line of all the races last year, but I am telling you, there was something special
Oh my
about
gosh, it was
the
the
senior
best.
marathon. Watching friends cross hand in hand. And I think, to me, what was so unique and just heartwarming about it is I know that so many of these people, I think now, were probably the age I am now when the bombing occurred. And, now I was a teenager when the bombing occurred. Now I'm the mom of 3 teenagers, and my perspective has shifted on what that would feel like to be the parent involved in that, trying to explain these things to my kids and having it be so impactful in my community, and what it must feel like to come, a couple decades down and be able to be involved in this race in that way, where maybe it's not something you were able to be involved in before, just because of the sheer distance
Right.
of the race.
Right.
So it was just really touching and special. And
Well, and Terry, you were downtown on April 19th, right?
I was downtown, and I very clearly remember the moment when the bomb went off, and because I was putting something, I was nailing something up on the wall for the arts festival,
Right.
And I thought, and when it went off, and I thought, oh my gosh, what
You
have I
did that.
done? And then of course immediately realized that I had not done anything.
Right.
But it was frightening that entire morning, not knowing what had happened, listening to the news,
How it impacted the arts festival.
watching it on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and then and the subsequent
Cancellation.
all the devastation, all of the people who were impacted
Right.
by the bombing. It
Yeah.
was horrific. And I think most of the people, not all of them, but most of the people who are now able to participate in the senior marathon were right in the midst of their
Right.
professional careers.
Yeah, that's what
when
we've
that
heard.
happened.
Right. And the marathon was either they'd done it already once or twice, they'd aged out of it, they didn't want to keep doing it. And that's why the senior marathon, when Chris, our Fleming, came up with this idea, we loved it because it gave people who lived it and a way to give back or to contribute. They maybe
to be a part of it.
Right. They may have been already volunteering, but this gave them a chance to be on the street, and that
Right.
we love the
race.
thoughts of that.
Well, and I love telling people about it.
Well, good.
I've already started talking to people this year, and they kind of go, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "Listen, this is fun. There's no reason why you can't log in 25 miles
Sure.
between now and
Race
end of
weekend,
April,
right.
and then come downtown, be part of this massive group." I was really impressed at the number of participants, especially since it's last year was a first year
Right.
event. And crossing the finish line with my group of friends just felt so amazing to be bonded together to support the memorial, and because we do all remember.
Right.
I mean, the
You
fact
kinda had
that
a-
it's a run to remember is so significant because it's not just an event. It is a living memorial
Yeah.
to what happened. And so,
So you had a team, a core four,
yes.
and you guys trained and did it together, and you had some fun. But I was at a Philharmonic event where you were there, but people came up to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm registered because Terry talked me into it." I mean, like a former general from Tinker, a retired general from Tinker. Someone, I mean, like the list of people you got signed up was amazing. You should have won an award for that.
Well,
You did. You're on the podcast.
Why
Right.
would someone not want to participate in something that was so fun? It was a real adrenaline high, even though we were just walking. So it's not like when you're running and you really do have that rush of adrenaline when you going, okay, just one more half mile, we can make it. You don't have that feeling, but the participation and all of the energy that takes place on the event day is just so elevating. I don't know why someone wouldn't want to participate. As soon as they opened the registration after last year's marathon, I signed up.
I love that.
And she's got on her
And
Train
I have on
OKC t-shirt.
my training shirt.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
You are ready to go. So you've got some. Carrie, this is a great advertisement. For
Unbelievable.
This.
Yeah, when we looked, I'm like, we got to get Terry because
Yeah.
I just literally was at that event, and I think it wasn't a huge reception, but I think out of the 50 or 60 people there, 10 said they were doing it because Terry convinced them to come sign and how much fun it was. So I love that. Your husband Bert was with WW Steel, the family company, and you guys, he was part of the rescue and recovery. And
Well, the WW Steel provided steel beams to help support the structure when they were doing the search and rescue and the search and recovery.
it was
To
so
help
important. The
that
building was so in.
rescue people could have a safer place to access the
Right.
building.
Yeah, those kinds of stories are told in the museum, but these are the humans that made it happen. And I think when you look at, your family and just the companies in Oklahoma City who stepped up, didn't expect a dime, they just gave their equipment and their people and the supplies. This is why Oklahoma City is different. And Cooper family is a big part of that. And they came back a couple years ago and helped us rebuild the base of the survivor tree, and that was a remarkable story too. But I just can't say enough about Terry and your support. And we're going to get you on out here because you got some more people to go line up and get signed up,
Well, thank you. I'm a community volunteer.
and they can go train on the Burt Cooper Trail out around Lake Hefner.
Yes.
You guys walk out there some?
Well, usually in the spring, as you pointed out, the weather can be kind of iffy.
can be.
So my walking group is doing it inside.
Okay.
That's okay. You just.
Well, if
you
it's a
got the
pretty
miles
spring
in.
day,
In
head out to
spring,
the
we'll
lake.
be out on
That's right.
Burt Cooper
Yeah.
Trail.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Terry.
you, Terry. Yeah, thanks for encouraging so many people to join us on the senior marathon, and I look forward to seeing you at the finish line on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I'm just getting started this year.
We'll
will
check.
see
We'll
you.
check on you throughout the next couple months.
Okay.
Thanks, Terry.
Entering its second year, the Senior Marathon gives runners age 65 and older a race to call their own. We are thankful for the support of our newest member of the Memorial Marathons race family and the presenting sponsor of the Senior Marathon, Mercy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Erica Dearman. At Mercy, we're passionate about helping Oklahomans live longer, fuller lives. That's why we're proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Senior Marathon. Physical activity for seniors like this Run to Remember helps reduce the risk of stroke, type 2 diabetes, and even some cancers. So join us in honoring those impacted by the events of April 19th, 1995. Mercy is honored to provide specialized care for seniors, and we look forward to celebrating the strength of our state at the Senior Marathon.
Joining us now is Colby Phelan with News 9. He is somebody who literally went bananas over his assignment last year, covering the Memorial Marathon race. Colby, thanks for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Where's
That's a
the
good way to
banana
put
suit?
it. I know. I forgot it at home.
Oh, my
It would
gosh.
have been great today because it gets very hot. So it would have been great for this morning.
It would have been, maybe that could be some new winter weather we wear is a banana suit.
I just throw my suit on right on top of it.
Tell us what you experienced at Gorilla Hill.
It was really remarkable. We got out there probably 3:30 in the morning,
Wow.
so early, trying to prepare, make sure we had everything running properly. There were still people up.
Slicing
out there.
bananas and
Yeah, there's lots of bananas, slicing bananas, of course, hydrating, lots of water. They had to get ready for what was coming.
I was there the night before. They would have started hydrating early the night
Yes.
before.
Do you
Yes.
call that hydration? What's going on Gorilla Hill?
It's a different form of hydration, not necessarily for runners,
I think maybe
but
that's
it's good
more
for
of
the
a
volunteers.
dehydration that's
Yeah.
going
That's
on
probably
at Gorilla
true.
Hill.
Certainly a lot of fun. And what struck me is really remarkable. Steve Cole's done a great job
Unbelievable.
out there. And really, when you step back and look at it, how it began so organically, and just Steve driving past a car lot saying, hey, I should put that gorilla in my yard. And went to him and got the gorilla, and the rest is history. And they've had somebody donate bananas and water. And it's so much energy in that spot. And what was great was seeing families coming out with their kids, pushing strollers, coming out just to cheer people on. And that's something that doesn't just pop up. It comes from something within the community that was already there.
True story, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. Until COVID, Steve allowed runners to go into his house and use the bathroom. I can't believe Janet ever allowed it. I still shake my head at her, and we're like, that's going to stop. We're going to put porta potties out in your driveway or your alley, but what an example of the Oklahoma Standard. Steve and his family, I mean, their entire family, pour into that, and they bring friends and generations of friends now. But what a great story, and it was fun to watch you out there going bananas.
Yeah, really, it was so great. And fortunately, I was out there with Lisa Monahan, who, as you guys know, I mean, she is easily one of the best journalists I've ever worked with. Talented, aggressive,
Tough.
Works very hard, but covers, unfortunately, a lot of crime and death. And I think this was a great break for her.
Right.
And we had a lot of fun. And I went and got a gorilla suit, and she got some banana hats, and we did go bananas.
You did.
It was great.
You know, that's part of the marathon for the Memorial too. We work in a very serious, tough storytelling business, but marathon weekend, it gets to be a celebration of life, and that really is the meaning of the marathon. Is very similar to what families, survivors, first responders have gone through. It's a journey that you're not over it overnight. This community hasn't rebuilt overnight, but it's a distance, and it's a perseverance and toughness, and then you get to celebrate all that life has brought you, the good and the bad. But when you go up that hill and people are having fun and you're about to make the turn to either come back downtown for the half or go the distance for the full, that's an important part to kind of push people through.
Well, I'm not a runner. I mean, I think the most I've ever run in my life is about 8 miles. The hardest mile, 7. And I know for people that run marathons, I imagine that is a very tough hurdle to get past, right? That 7th mile, which is right where Gorilla Hill is. And it was interesting standing up on top of the hill in front of Steve's house, looking down. You could see as they're coming, they're starting the hill, there's just this agony on people's faces a lot of the time. And then they got a couple blocks away and start to change a little bit. And they get right in front of all the people that were there screaming and excited, and it just changed. You could feel an energy just come into them and really lift their spirit, and hopefully it was carried them at least for the next few miles.
Yeah,
It's contagious.
Yes,
it's
it
so much
certainly
fun.
is.
So are you going back to Gorilla Hill this year?
I really hope so.
Did you ask for that assignment?
I did.
Okay.
I'm pushing for it. Lisa too. I
Okay,
think it
good.
was a great experience, and really just getting to see firsthand that Oklahoma Standard you were talking about is that a lot of these people were up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, getting out there, getting ready, making sure they had their spot, ready to cheer people on. And folks don't have to do that, you know. And
Are you
on a
from
Sunday-
Oklahoma?
I'm not.
Okay.
In fact, you were talking about 2020. That was the year I moved here.
It is, okay.
July of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So this was really the first marathon that I got to see in its fullness, and it was really incredible. And just getting to experience that was awesome.
Well, thanks so much for your enthusiasm and your dedication, and we'll look forward to having you back on Gorilla Hill.
Hopefully
Oh,
in
yes.
a gorilla suit or a banana costume.
I for sure. If you come past Gorilla Hill next year, hopefully I'm there with the gorilla suit, giving out high fives. And
That's
so
awesome.
Come by and get
How
one.
fun is
Okay,
that?
well,
Thank you, guys.
Colby, thanks for joining us.
y'all.
Thanks for your enthusiasm about the race. All right, Carrie, here we are. We are at the
Yeah.
end of another episode.
Oh my gosh, what
Yeah.
do you think's in the works? Anything we need to answer for runners? You guys?
Well, I think the thing the hot topic thing right now is that we're entering a cold stretch.
Right.
And so kind of making sure that maybe it's that you get plugged into a group and so you have some accountability to get out and do these hard training runs. Maybe it's you say, even though I hate treadmill running, I'm going to just do it, and I don't know, watch a show on Netflix or find some way to make that fun. Maybe it's investing in some cold weather gear. On episodes last season, we've talked a lot about cold weather gear, so you could go and find those episodes and kind of learn some of the tricks there of things to do, of bundling up your core, layering, gloves, if you need ice things on your shoes,
Right.
which, but also be careful if
be
you're
careful,
running in
right?
ice. But
We want you there in April, so take it.
We
take
do.
it
We
take
do.
it, as Mark said, to your pace, and
Right.
don't overdo it. But get ready, and I think that is so much part of it. We gave out hats and gloves last
I
weekend.
saw somebody running in their hat and gloves on my way here this
Oh,
morning.
you did?
On my
That's
way
great.
downtown, there was somebody running it, and I wanted to honk my horn and wave at him, but I thought I might look like a crazy person.
Well, and I think the other thing is just take a moment and remember why we're running.
Exactly.
Go to our website, come down to the museum, walk through the memorial, but focus on the meaning of the race. And I think it makes the training in this hard winter
It
months
does.
very meaningful. And find find a person you can relate to that's your age that died in the bombing or has similar family. I've heard a lot of runners say I focused on this person and I learned everything I could about this person and it helped me motivate. And I think that's a great idea. At our shop, we're focused on the mission in January, and we're making sure everyone understands the why we do what we do every day. And like I
Right.
told Colby, the marathon is really the fun thing we get to do. I mean, like it's fun for our
It's the
team.
celebration.
It's a celebration. And so as you're going through these tough winter days, spend a few minutes on the computer or come to the memorial or the museum and hone in on someone and learn about them and make that part of your goal and part of your
That's a
mission while
great
you're
idea.
running.
That's a great idea. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Run to Remember Memorial Marathon podcast. Let us know what you think. Go to okcmarathon.com/podcast and leave us feedback or tell us about inspirational stories that you'd like to hear. Let us know if you have a special reason that you're running this year. It's not too late to sign up to run, to volunteer. If you're already signed up to run, get some friends. Take a note from what Terry's done, where she's just convincing everybody to run with her.
I mean, she is convincing.
She is convincing everybody to run. So grab some friends and sign up to join us as well. The Memorial Marathon takes place the weekend of April 26th through the 28th. Let's marathon.